Piotr, what is the significance then of the decisions taken by ministers this week? What is it meant to achieve? How does it set us up for that leaders' meeting later in the month?
Hi, indeed. So as we heard from Mark Rutte, what was agreed were so-called capability targets. What that means, these are highly classified lists of personnel, weaponry that NATO members have committed to developing or buying or having in stock over the coming years. And this obviously paves the way to achieving the new target for defense spending that NATO is supposed to agree on when they meet at their June summit later this month in The Hague. So the main focus here is that obviously those, as I said, those lists are highly classified, but what we've been reporting is that one element of that is, for example, a five-fold increase in air defenses, which are very important in that context, given the situation that we have with Ukraine. What Mark Rutte said is that obviously what NATO wants to achieve during the summit is this 5% target. This is not just straight defense spending. This target has been divided between 1.5 for defense-related spending and 3.5 as the core defense spending. Why are we doing this? Why NATO is committing to that new target? It's obviously Donald Trump is the answer. He's been sniping a lot about Europeans not spending enough, of sort of free riding on American help, and the whole point of having this new target and having this capability objectives in place is obviously to placate Trump and making sure that he still continues to be part of NATO and the US is still there. And it seems that's basically the main goal of the meeting of defense ministers. And we seem to have a broad agreement, although, and at least that total agreement is going to be reached by the end of by the time the summit is held, as Mark Rutte said yesterday.
And Piotr, how does Ukraine fit into all of this?
Obviously, this broad-based ramp-up is important because of the posture that Russia has now with the attacks and the war that's been going on into the fourth year now. So that's been front and center when Rutte yesterday addressed reporters talking about that. He actually mentioned ammunition. Sort of given the scale of the challenges that Europe and the rest of NATO is facing, is at this moment Russia is producing in 3 months as much as the whole NATO is producing in terms of ammunition in a year. So that gives you the scale of the danger. Ukraine has been invited into the summit, but there is very delicate diplomacy going around that and choreography. We are not clear whether President Zelensky is going to be invited into the main session. Probably unlikely to be there. Obviously, this is all going to prepare NATO for potential Russian aggression. But there's obviously the position of Ukraine and its future in NATO potentially is still a very sticking point. Rutte said yesterday Ukraine's path towards NATO is irreversible. At the same time, we already heard from Pete Hegseth when he first appeared at in Brussels for the NATO meeting a couple of months ago, is that Ukraine is not going to join NATO. So this Mark Rutte will try to keep off the table at the NATO summit, basically focusing on this 5% target.